In the south tonight, Helen Gorrie's friend John says, "I didn't kill her." Police accuse the travellers of being sponges. And gold medal winner Sally arrives home to a heroine's welcome. Good evening. The man referred to as John in murder victim Helen Gorrie's diary has tonight told TVS that he's completely innocent. John CORCORAN and another local man, David Benfield, were questioned by detectives at Horndean Police Station over the weekend. The two men were released without charge after more than 50 hours in custody. Guy Phillips reports.
David Benfield and John CORCORAN have described the past 3 days as a nightmare. The pair, back home after being questioned over Helen Gorrie's murder, say they're innocent.
We didn't do it. I know we didn't do it, so I haven't got nothing to hide. I've told the police that, and Dave's told the police that as well, and we haven't got nothing to hide.
Helen's strangled body was found in the grounds of a community hall in Horndean 9 days ago. An entry in her diary on the day she disappeared referred to a mystery man called John. She'd written these words: "John phoned me up. He wants me to go for a drive." That person was John CORCORAN. He says he'd met Helen the day before, close to this shopping precinct near the village of Horndean. John CORCORAN said he exchanged telephone numbers with Helen that evening and spoke to her on the telephone the following day, but he didn't arrange to meet her that night, the night she disappeared. Did you go to the police when you heard that they were appealing for someone called John?
No, because I didn't even think it was nothing to do with me at the time. It's not until the police actually come up here. And we was interviewed and everything.
Detectives have renewed their appeals for information in the hope of finding Helen's killer.
Travellers illegally camped in Hampshire were described as sponges today by the county's Assistant Chief Constable. John Wright said the travellers' social security payments should be stopped as they didn't make any useful contribution to society. Mr Wright's comments came after the weekend's massive police operation, which failed to prevent hundreds of travellers from gathering near Winchester. Nigel Burwood reports.
The travellers began moving out in large numbers this morning. They've been camped at the Otterbourne incinerator site for the past 3 nights. Behind them, hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of damage. It was caused by a huge fire and other acts of vandalism for which the travellers deny responsibility. But whatever the cause, it's put Hampshire's main rubbish incinerator out of action. Today's newspaper headlines accuse the travellers of taking revenge. And the Assistant Chief Constable also has harsh words for them.
At the moment, they're sponging off of society. They're sponging off of you and I. You and I are paying for them, and yet you and I are paying our taxes for them, and this is what they do.
What do you say about the damage here?
Well, I'm appalled at it. I'm really fed up about it. I'm totally fed up about it. I don't want to see this. Like my friend said, it's just going to get in the paper. It gets in the papers, it gets us bad press. Everywhere we go, we get taunted.
But whoever was responsible, Hampshire charge payers will have to pick up the bill. And while this plant's out of action, that's £4,000 a day.
A man who went on a joyride through Reading town centre while high on the drug ecstasy has been jailed for 2 years for reckless driving. A judge at Reading Crown Court said Abdul Wahid from Liverpool Road was a danger to the public. During the joyride in a stolen Peugeot, Wahid crashed into 3 cars, jumped red lights and drove onto a pavement before crashing into a wall. A new report on the housing market says prices in the south could fall by as much as 9% this year, and there'd only be a slight recovery in 1993. The report, entitled "The Housing Slump, When Will It End?" is by the finance group Morgan Grenfell. It confirms fears expressed by other property experts that house prices will continue to fall until the recession ends. The report calls for the government to double mortgage tax relief and prolong the stamp duty holiday. Fishermen in Poole have tonight finally agreed to accept the offer of compensation from the oil company ELF. It now clears the way for compensation to be paid to all fishermen whose livelihoods have been disrupted by ELF's oil surveys off the Isle of Wight. ELF had offered trawlermen £4,000 each, but before tonight's meeting, Poole Fishermen's Association had failed to accept the terms. They were unhappy that the figure was the same for full and part-time trawlermen. However, it took just 40 minutes for them to change their minds.
In the first instance, I think a large majority were reluctant, but needless to say, needs must when the devil drives, and things have been tight this season, and now there are a lot more in favour.
Britain's most successful athlete at the Barcelona Olympics, Sally Gunnell from Brighton, arrived home from Spain today. She flew into Heathrow with the other athletes who brought back a total of 20 medals. David Bobin saw them arrive.
Predictably, it was the golden pair of Sally Gunnell and Linford Christie who attracted most attention. And when they finally appeared in the arrivals hall, it was chaos.
My golden day.
The last week's been, all my dreams have come true, and it's been so exciting. And, to come home to this sort of welcome, and it's just absolutely brilliant.
Have you got the medal on you?
Yes, I have.
Let's have a quick look. That's what it's all about, isn't it, really? That's what you've worked hard for all these years.
Definitely, all that hard work.
Britain's judo squad were also given a warm welcome home. Sandhurst's Nikki Fairbrother, who works for a Reading paper, won a silver medal.
I'm not stopping now or anything. I'm going to continue and hopefully get the gold in Atlanta and definitely go on to then.
Meanwhile, back home in Brighton, Sally Gunnell was discovering at first hand how life changes when you win a gold medal. It seemed everyone wanted an autograph. There was even a special cake with the Mayor of Brighton. The people of the South, and Brighton in particular, have taken the Golden Girl to their hearts.
And that's the late news from the TVS newsroom. We're back at 9:55 tomorrow morning. Good night.
Good evening. Well, dry and clear tonight. Well, for most of the night, there could be some cloud into Dorset and Wiltshire towards dawn. And a cooler and fresher night, temperatures falling to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, at chart for noon tomorrow, that shows quite a lot of isobars there, so a bit of a windy day. And this front coming along, bringing quite a few showers as we go through the day, particularly in the afternoon. Tomorrow morning, then, a dry and quite a bright start, some sunshine, Sussex, Surrey, perhaps even into Hampshire. But that cloud in the west will spread right the way across, a scattering of showers from mid-morning onwards. During the afternoon, quite frequent showers through the afternoon, some of them on the heavy side, just the smallest risk of a rumble or two of thunder. Your winds quite strong from the southwest, gusting up to 40 miles per hour. And your best temperatures tomorrow, a cooler and fresher 20, that's 68. That's all for me now. Good night.